The adverse effects of sunscreen on coral reefs. What is the issue? Coral reefs are slowly facing a seemingly unpreventable demise. According to a study by Hughes in 2003, despite being one of the most biologically productive and diverse ecosystems in the world, approximately 60% of coral reefs are currently threatened by several factors. These include both environmental and anthropogenic impacts. Surprisingly to slip-slop-slap promoters, one of the key anthropogenic impacts is the presence of sunscreen amongst the coral reefs. Several sunscreen lotions contain an ingredient called oxybenzone, otherwise known as BP3. According to a study by Astolfi and others, this organic compound is toxic to coral reefs even in small amounts. Studies by Professor Bronstein and others have estimated that between 6,000 and 14,000 tonnes of sunscreen are released into coral reefs each year, averaging 1 to 10% made up by BP3. BP3 is used in personal care products to protect human skin from UV light. However, it is severely damaging the coral reef. What have I learned? The presence of BP3 in a coral reef's ecosystem can have multiple adverse effects. These effects include damage to coral at all stages of its life cycle. The chemical commonly found in sunscreen lotions is a genotoxicant to corals. As defined by Shah, this means that the chemical agents damage the genetic information within the coral cells, causing mutation and disease. Bronstein and Astolfi's studies showed that the mutations include deformities in mature corals, as well as growth stunting and disfiguration in immature specimens. The disfiguration of the reef continues through the bleaching of the coral. Professor Bronstein's study exposed coral planulae to very low amounts of BP3, and the results showed that BP3 affects the coral's ability to defend itself against algae. This makes it susceptible to algae growth and thus bleaching at much lower temperatures. Apart from visual effects, BP3 is also an endocrine disruptor, damaging the DNA and core of the coral. BP3 awakens a dormant virus within algae growing on the coral. The virus causes ossification, that is, the coral begins to turn cartilage into bone and slowly encases itself in its own skeleton. The virus will eventually cause the coral to explode, spreading the virus through the surrounding seawater and infecting other coral plants. Lastly, BP3 damages both the DNA of coral and sea animals, causing problems with reproduction. Recent studies by Kanisu have shown that chemical BP3 directly derives from can even increase the occurrence of endometriosis in humans. What can we do? The Australian Government provides regulatory guidelines regarding the production, labelling and marketing of sunscreen products. Unfortunately, they have not yet made laws regarding BP3 as an ingredient. However, the Environmental Working Group is pushing for chemicals such as BP3 to be legally excluded from these ingredient lists. They also provide sunscreen guides for people looking to find more natural protection. Here is a visual representation of products available that do and do not contain BP3. The site provided at the end will link you directly to the 2015 sunscreen guide. Thank you for watching.